Hello, my name is David Titov, Managing Director on the Strategic Accounts team, and we focus largely in the financial services vertical.
Dave, do you like being an engineer?
You know, I love being an engineer, and I love being an engineer at Trace3, really because I get to work with great people, amazing customers, and deal with some of the coolest technology out there.
Are you ready for your spin?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, keeping it real. So a recent success story we had with one of our large accounts came around their private cloud initiative that started about 2 years ago. So this was a really interesting project where the customer wanted to transform how they were releasing their applications. And it started from everything from infrastructure as a service and really ended up as platform as a service. What made this one so compelling was that it transformed not only their infrastructure team, but also across the bridge to development. So it's really the first pass at really kind of creating a robust and mature DevOps practice inside the account.
Any funny stories you can share with us with your tenure here at Trace3?
You know, there's a ton of funny stories. How many I can share with you on camera, that's the bigger question. Maybe one interesting story is in financial services, we spend a lot of time in data centers, and there's a couple data centers that are close to the exchanges. And if you ever go through those data centers, there's 2 of them, they're about 50 to 100,000 square feet. And as you're walking around the data center space, you can't help notice there's just reams of fiber wrapped around poles. And it's really awkward in the data center, like why haven't they figured out how to do cable management better? Why is there so much just fiber laying around? And it was really based off regulatory trading exchanges where the exchange didn't want anyone to have an unfair advantage in the data center. So if you were on one side of the data center or close to where the actual exchange was, they wanted your fiber interconnects to be the same length. So if you were 10 feet away from where you needed to plug in, you'd actually have to have about 1,000 feet of spool. So I thought that was kind of an interesting characteristic. Most people don't know that. That's the level of regulatory measures that the exchange goes to.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Where is innovation happening?
So in financial services, innovation's happening in a couple different places right now. Blockchain's probably the most unique and interesting component that's out there. For those that you don't know, blockchain is really kind of founded out of Bitcoin. And it's a different form of a database. And what makes it unique is as each record goes in the database, you can't change the record that as it goes in. So it's kind of somewhat of a read-only aspect once you write it once. Where that has impacts to all of us is it's completely changing how financial organizations basically do transactions with one another. I think we've all been to a bank where you're trying to do a wire transfer, you get there at 3 o'clock or after 3 and you can't do the transfer till the next day. Or you're sending money to someone, they don't get it for 3 days, or even you're depositing a check. That all goes into the regulations and how many intermediaries there are when you transfer money. Blockchain is really poised over the next 10 years to completely turn that on its head, where banks will transfer money directly with one another. And so for us as consumers, we'll now get instant access to money and as we transfer money. So that's pretty cool. All right, another innovation that's happening right now in financial services is around security. Security is top of mind in all of our accounts, especially in FinTech right now, where their focus is around user behavior analytics and also advanced endpoint security. UBA is really interesting because you can imagine all of our customers are getting all these new rich data sources of information. But as you're absorbing all this new information, how do you make decisions and really detect risk in the organization? So UBA uses analytics and machine learning to help our customers detect risk. The other area is around advanced endpoint protection. So most of our customers, there's a little bit of land grab going on. One of them has 16 agents running on the endpoint. And what they're looking to do is consolidate those down to 2 or 3 agents that can help them with malware, IPS, IDS, even at the endpoint, encryption, and traditional antivirus, and even next-gen antivirus capabilities. So all good stuff happening there. So in financial services, there's a ton of headlines we could talk about this year, but probably one of the most compelling one is around robo trading. Robo trading is a new trend that is really occurring with the millennial generation, where millennials are looking for different ways to interact with and manage their money. What robo trading does is it really takes away that traditional brokerage or broker who determines where you should invest your money, and it's all left up to machine learning and analytics, which then through a robo trading app allows and empowers a millennial or any person for that matter to choose where they want to place their money. Then the other really big innovation that's occurred, and headline would be the Department of Labor's fiduciary advisory regulation that came out. And that really is interesting because it limited or changed the way that for our investment and retirement funds, organizations can choose the funds they invest in. And really it comes down to investment organizations can no longer choose funds with the highest commissions paid out to them. Where that's really changed from a technology perspective is all the analysis, all the logic that our customers use to make trades now has to change. They have to reinvent all that logic to basically play within the rules of that regulation.
Dave, how do you describe your job to your grandparents?
So that's an interesting one. I don't think I've ever told my grandparents what I do, believe it or not. But to the rest of my family, they've always known I've been in technology. And I think the dead giveaway was, 20 years ago, I was the guy with the utility belt and I wore that with a badge of honor where I had my phone, my pager, my BlackBerry. And so it was always a dead giveaway. Over time, I think most of the families come more up to date with what technology is. They know what things like wireless devices are. Everyone's got their own email. So now I keep it pretty straightforward. I work at an awesome company. We're in IT consulting, and really we help our customers solve business problems with technology.
Nice, and they usually are fine with that. No more further questions.
That's basically starts to get over their head with about that side of it.